That's a little different, but okay. We're just going to go with it. That's the beauty of doing things live. See, when you go live, sometimes it's going to go smooth. And just every now and then it's going to be a little bit different to say the least. Let me tell you something. This has been a good couple times to get everything back into going. I think today one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about was a little bit of music, yeah, because I do enjoy, talking a little bit about it. And we're going to have everything all set in just a second. I know, people. I know the one man show, we make it happen. But first and foremost, I just want to say good morning to everybody. As you can see, I did a little decor. I got got the little bit of the record in the background. We're getting ready for the Super Bowl. You know that Valentine's Day is around the corner, so there's a lot of good things happening. But I think one of the biggest things that I kind of wanted to talk about that kind of hit me a little bit this week was it was actually from the homie Benito. And during his performance in Colombia, which was pretty cool, and let me move my phone because trust me, that's part of the way it goes. But during his tour, he was in Colombia and he was saying, and this is, a little translation from myself, something very important. And I think it's something that we often take for granted a lot of the time, which is, you know, one life. This life is yours, right? This is the life that you have. Choose to do with it what you choose to do with it. Hopefully, it's a positive thing. But the reality of it is that you do go around this ring once. And I have a tendency to say this a lot because most of the time we're doing things and we're just kind of like shuffling through. And before you know it, you're going to look up and you're going to say, where did it all go? And I really don't want that for anybody out there. I want each and every one of you to have that excitement, that energy, that vibe that keeps on going through life to be like, oh, this is happening, and all these good things are happening. Now, you have these little slumps that kind of come through, little moments that kind of take something that's good and just shifts it in a different direction. Those moments are nothing more than little lessons. So don't let those little lessons bother you. Learn from it, take it away. Be like, hey, this is something I could take away from it. Don't fester on things of the past because often sometimes that's where a lot of people start living. They start living in the past and they start turning around and saying, "Well, I remember when I did this and I did this and I did that and I did this." And while it is beautiful to be able to recollect and just be like, "Man, yeah, I did do this. I did do that. That was pretty cool." It should be that same excitement for what you're going to do, what you're looking toward, what you're moving toward because every day is a different day. And I say it all the time because just because it was Monday last week, it's not going to be the same actions or things that took place. It's going to be something different. And this is what I want you guys to have that little bit, that excitement all the time. Some of us get stuck in that 9 to 5 rut, that bored, looking out the window, wonder where am I going? What am I doing? You know, if you're young, just starting off, you graduated high school, you think about your journey of what you're going to become, you know, and you sit back and you say, well, what am I going to do? Listen, control what you can control, right? Control how you feel, control some of the emotions that you go through, control these things. Yeah, you could control them. What's happening here, you can make that happen. All those things play a little bit of a role into what's happening. So when I let me just make sure we got one other thing here because it looks like I'm getting a little bit of a notification, a wee bit notification, not a lot, but a wee bit. So bear with me 1 second. Do 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 do. All right, let's check this out. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's cool. That's weird. I wonder why it gave me that notification. Anyway, let's jump back into it. Now that we got look, I can like myself. Like that's crazy. So on the topic of love, right? This is where we're at. We're jumping into Valentine's Day, and this could be hit or miss for a couple people. Now, Valentine's Day, and I know some of you right there will know that, like, hey, if you love somebody every day. It's the opportunity to do something just a little bit different, just a little bit special. More special, I guess, to say the least. You should be doing special more often than not. But it's one of those things that, like, Valentine's Day comes around. What you shouldn't do is put like additional pressure on yourself. Now, first and foremost, we all know that this is kind of a very elevated and created holiday. I'm not knocking it. I just want you to know that certain holidays, I broke this down when I was in retail. Like once a month, there was always some kind of holiday and some kind of sale or some kind of special going on. And that's more for businesses. The florist, this is his busy season. Thanksgiving, go to ShopRite and Stop and Shop and look at their shelves and how crazy it gets. December, go to retailers, people shopping, purchasing online. You can see all this, right? So, Valentine's Day, though, that doesn't mean you should just knock the holiday, you know? That doesn't mean it at all. You could do something nice, you could do something special. You know, it shows a lot, especially, I'm going to say, speaking on the fellas' behalf, right? Speaking on the fellas. Let me speak on the fellas for a second. It shows a lot when you do something really nice, whether it's flowers at the office, you know, whether it's a really nice breakfast, whether it's amazing dinner, whatever you and your relationship have that they love, that you guys both share in, that you want to enjoy, make it happen. Now I'm giving you proper days because what happens is a lot of the excuses coming into play, right? A lot of people come into excuses where they're like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have the time, I don't have the. Stop it. Stop with all the weak excuses. You do have the time. You do. I'm giving you right now the time. Valentine's Day comes out every year, February 14th. It doesn't change. It doesn't. Happens every year. And every year you have the opportunity to do the right thing. Even back in the day, I'll go way, way back in the day, even like in the high school years, I was pretty smooth with it because I knew it was a cool day. It was something that should be celebrated. Now, as long as you and your partner know, like, hey, regardless, we love each other, if you choose to do something special with that person, that's cool. Some do it the day before, some do it the day after, but make it a moment. And you should make moments with the people that you love. You know, this week, my daughters were calling me and just friendly reminders saying, Pa, you're getting us flowers. Being a father in that sense, I made sure, to the best of my ability, I made sure that they knew that the 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 levels to a man, to say the least, right? There's certain levels that has to happen, certain expectations, and so I will get them flowers every year for Valentine's Day. And the call kind of came through again this weekend. It was just more affirmation, like FYI, Dad, you are getting us flowers, right? And now my girls are a little bit older now. They are in their 20s now, right? So you have to sit back and say, all right, well, I mean, is Dad gonna get you flowers still? I'm just messing. Of course. I'm gonna say it on the record, of course. Yes, you girls are still, you always will from Dad because Dad takes care of you. That's just part of me, you know, and who I am. Because it may not seem like a lot, right? But it's a moment to make them feel just a little bit more special. And this goes both ways, men, women, all this good stuff. It goes both ways. Women, take the time. Your husband, what does he like? Boyfriend, what does he like? Friend, could be something. Maybe you get a mug. Treat yourself kind of mug. You know what I'm saying? Do something nice and treat yourself. It could be something just like that. Do something nice. In this world, oh, that's always nice. But in this world, you know, a little niceness now could go really, really a good far way. And on the topic of Benito Bowl, because the Benito Bowl is coming up, I know, live with it. This man also said that when you love, you know, love with all your heart. And that kind of struck me. Sometimes you go through and you're scared of things because of love. You're scared of maybe putting yourself out there on the line. Um, Especially, I would say this directed toward, young love, the teenagers, the ones that are just really starting. Don't be afraid. Shoot your shot. Take your chance. Okay? Don't be afraid. You find someone you like, don't knock yourself saying there's no opportunity. Shoot your shot. You never know unless you try. It might be a no. It might be okay. You know, there's someone for everyone out there. So you have to turn around and don't hesitate. Don't be scared. You know, the way that I've always lived is very simple. Worst case scenario is they're going to say no, but it never hurts to ask. If they say no, it's okay. You move on about your life. But at least you know. Don't get psyched out before. Shoot your shot. Then, for the couples that have been together, married, right? Always make sure that you do your best to treat your partner special every day. Not once in a while, not once in a blue. There are millions of people in the world, and that person's with you. And that should make you feel special. And if you ever overlook that or oversight that, revisit. You know, hate to say it, but then you start back at one. You know what I'm saying? One, you're like a dream come true. Two, just wanna be with you. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back. All those little things you do on a daily basis should be something special you could do. And that's the way I woke up this morning. This is the vibe that I was feeling. This whole week, it's been just kind of like, hey, let's make something happen. And so at the end of the week, I said, hey, it's time to do a live. Let's jump back into a little bit of coffee time. I like seeing everybody on here. A lot of people were happy to see some of the clips that I put up last week, or I think it was 2 weeks ago when I did my live. And it took a little bit. But I'm finally getting it to the point where we're kind of like, hey, we're going to keep it going for 10 o'clock on Fridays. We're going to have a good time and just talk live with you guys for a bit. Sometimes we may tackle some other issues. But right now, the only thing I really kind of wanted to tackle was just a little love. Make sure it's all good. Put a little smile on your face. See how that looks, you know? So, with that being said, it's about 10:20. I'm going to be doing a little bit more today. I got a little bit of grind, a little bit of a play. The beauty of today, for what I'm doing today, is I'm going to be working with some more tools. So last week, you saw me put up a kind of like a little bit of a teleprompter. That way I could turn around and when I'm on location, you can see certain things change and how it looks and all this good stuff. This week, I'm going to be working with my gimbal just to kind of get the gimbal is not gimbaling, to say the least. So I'm going to be adjusting it. I say this all the time, and I've said this for years. It didn't matter whether it was in recording studios or whether it was, podcasting studios. It didn't matter what we were doing. When you're buying tools, let me correct myself. If you buy a tool, whether you're a construction worker, whether you're a recording engineer, whatever it may be, use it. Don't sit over there and think about the price point. Save up to do all this stuff. Purchase something new and then turn around and let it collect dust. There's always going to be a new piece of equipment. There's always going to be new gear. There's always going to be like a new application or something that's happening that you're going to want to buy. You're going to want to invest. You want to do this. You want to do that. I get it. But the reality of it is you got to turn around and say like, hey, how to use it. You got a brand new lens. Check it out. You get the gimbal. I want to make sure the gimbal's going right. Check it out. But today, that's pretty much it for me today. I just want to have a good time. So Fridays, give or take 10 o'clock. Sometimes I run on Spanish people time. But give or take 10 o'clock, we're going to go live. And then you guys in the comments or chats or anything like that you want to join in, by all means, join in. As of right now, though, full disclosure, we are definitely... Bring it to me. Definitely on the Bad Bunny kick. We've come a long way. Very, very long way. Not everybody understands that. But if you know your history, you do. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to turn around, do a little bit of a grind. Thank everybody who jumped in. Check out the chats, the comments, the views, the plays, all that other good stuff. I'm going to see you guys next week because we're going to keep doing this Fridays at 10. Then you guys could tune in. That's right. I couldn't help myself but say that. I had to say it like that. Oh, man. All right. Let's finish it up.